Hey guys, Springman117, welcome back to the channel on the first part of the build for the Ultimate Banished AA Gun diorama. If you missed the overview video for the AA gun itself, you can catch that by visiting my channel, and whilst you're there, if you do like any of that content, feel free to subscribe. And as for this video, if you like this one, don't be afraid to smash that like button for me. Comments are always welcome in the section below. I originally said that this diorama build was just going to be one video, and once again I was wrong because I grossly underestimated how much work was going to be involved with this diorama. I am enjoying it, but I got a fair way through taking footage as I went along and figured that, you know, I reckon you guys would actually appreciate seeing how this thing goes together. So I decided to release this video. I'm not sure how many parts there'll be. I'm well underway now, so there may be another one before the end result, or the next one may be the end result. So as I say, hit the subscribe button, keep you posted, and let's get into it. So first things first, I had to get a really big piece of wood. This is an 8 foot by 4 foot sheet of building ply, reinforced underneath so I can lift it without it bending and ruining the diorama. Then I covered it in black paper. The reason I went with black instead of the usual white was because I will be taking nighttime shots of this, and if I put the black on the table and then the black on the walls as well, it would just help diffuse and give that look and effect of nighttime feel. Another thing you'll notice here is that the gun still looks absolutely monstrous on this ginormous piece of wood, but don't be deceived. There's a lot of room to fill here, and as you know, anyone that's been collecting Mega for a long time, you'll know base plates and terrain is almost non-existent. So if I'm going to stick to all Mega constructs and Mega blocks pieces, I'm going to have to be really smart with how I cover this piece of wood. So I decided the most logical way to do this was use the Battlescape terrain pieces. Now, I know these things are Marmite, some people can't stand them and don't agree with them, and I was a little bit like that when I first got them, but I've realised they come in really handy for stuff like this. Don't take too much notice of it, what it looks like at the moment, because that's all going to be moulded in together, so it won't look so different to the actual terrain pieces on the floor below the build there. But the most important thing is it's got a huge coverage when you use those terrain pieces, and if you use them cleverly, you can get a really good effect from them. I've used them in some of my mocks and dioramas before, and generally people have been really positive with the feedback about how well they look in those dioramas. So I decided to use them again here, if nothing else, out of necessity. As we move across the board, you can see I've started working on the base for the gravity lift, and you can also see how many pieces I've got available in this box and scattered across the table of foliage and also base plates, which this might seem like a lot of pieces to some of you. It's nowhere near enough to cover this board, so I'm going to have to get really creative with how I dress this board up for the diorama. I've also got plenty of these blue base plate pieces as well, which were kindly donated by Mega Constructs, along with most of the foliage pieces specifically for this diorama. So thank you once again to them for their contribution. Once I'd finalised how I wanted the left hand side of the board to look directly below the AA gun and incorporate the legs into that Battlescape, which wasn't easy because it is all on different levels, but it does make it look a little bit more realistic, I find. Definitely makes the gun fit into the mock better, and it will look even better once I've built it up with more pieces and foliage, not to mention lots and lots of figures. I then moved over to the right hand side of the board where I wanted to create some kind of beachscape with all these blue pieces, because I'm a huge fan of the silent cartographer level. I love how that level starts, where you fly in the Pelicans, you jump out on the beach, and then you just storm the beach and fight the Covenant. It's not going to be quite like that, but visually I liked it and I wanted to try and recreate it. And as you can see here, these Battlescapes with the beige colour really lend themselves to that quite well. So again, I started by piecing all of these tiny little blue landscape pieces together, which unfortunately does leave all of these little snowflake style shapes in between each of them, but it's the most effective way to get all of these pieces to mesh into the actual beige landscape pieces. I know there's holes everywhere, but don't worry, that will be taken care of in just a minute. And as you can see here, as we look at it with all the gun, it's really starting to show you how big this diorama is going to be. Still lots of space to fill up. I did use those 3 50 by 50 stud clear base plates on top of the black paper just to fill in that gap, which I'm not entirely sure of how I'm going to finish that off yet, but I'm sure you'll see that soon enough. Once I was happy with the general layout of the blue and the beige and the shape of the beach, I started filling in all those holes, as you can see here, by just using 1x4 plates, 1x2 plates and so on, just to stitch it all together to lock it together. And as you can see here, they really are small pieces, but they do mesh together very well. And once they're locked together, they don't go anywhere. It just acts like one giant piece. And this is what it looks like once I've built up the beach section onto the Battlescape as well, to get those triangular beige base plates to mesh into the actual Battlescape a bit more convincingly. I've also done the same with the way it moves into the water and underneath these Battlescape pieces here. So it's really starting to take shape now. Still a lot of work to do, but it's amazing how it comes together if you just keep building it up. And as for the effect of these blue pieces, the marbling effect in this really does look so convincingly like water. As you can see when you pan back in the video here, it's the perfect piece color for water, which I'm not entirely sure is what it was designed for, but it does the job really, really well. And at this point, I'm starting to get really excited. I can't wait to get this thing dressed up. And this is what I've come up with so far. So by no means is this definitive. I'm sure things will be tweaked and changed before the diorama is finished, but it gives you a really good idea of what I'm trying to create here. I wanted somewhere where I could make a UNSC staging area where troops can gather, they can be dropped off, and they can get ready to go into battle. I know it doesn't make a huge amount of sense it being this close to the actual AA gun, but I'm in two minds as of yet to whether the AA gun should still be under Banished control, or maybe they've lost control of it, the UNSC have taken control of it, and the Banished are trying to retake the gun. So that makes a little more sense with this LZ being so close to that Banished AA gun. But either way, I'm sure you can appreciate once you start putting some figures and vehicles amongst this, it really brings it to life. I'll definitely be adding more Marines. The only reason there's not more at this time is because I haven't actually got any more unpacked, but I do have lots in my box collection ready to be unpacked, as well as many more vehicles to add to it, both UNSC and Banished. I'll also be adding additional lighting to the rest of the diorama. A number of people commented on I should have lit the grav lift. You're 100% right. I did originally intend to, but completely forgot about it. So I do have some lighting to light up the grav lift, as well as various other features around the mock or the diorama. I've also got some lights to go underneath the vehicles, the Banished vehicles, to light up their repulsors or their anti-grav pods that make them hover. So that's going to be really interesting to see how all that looks come the end result as well. So hopefully you guys like what you see so far. I'm really enjoying this build. It is definitely taking a lot longer than I thought, but I'm hoping to make some good progress over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I won't be too long away with another video for you. But until then, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.